Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Thing Dimension featuring Dan and Bob Video Games. You see that mountain, Bob?
Yeah.
You can download that mountain on your phone, so that way it's ready when you stick the disc in.
Oh, great.
KZ Excellent.
I say words.
And Mr. Feel.
You ain't from Michigan if you ain't done this before.
Here on Gigaboots. Bob and I played the We're Stooges for paying $60 and $50 for it Mario Collection.
Yeah, we did.
We beat the good ones in a single stream. Sunshine remains unbeaten.
Yeah, of course. That thing's a nightmare.
Then you did it wrong. That's the only good one.
The emulation is bad too.
Yeah.
Like
That's a challenge.
I don't even like Sunshine, but I think it's a shame that version is just like eating shit while trying to run.
It is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that seems bad.
The only actually good port on this collection is Galaxy. It's strange.
Yeah.
Almost like somebody else made that. Maybe a company called Binbidia.
No way.
Technically, they pulled this apart, and it's seemingly made by Nerd. Now, we don't know that the NVIDIA Shield version isn't also made by Nerd. We don't know that much, but we do know that this version seems to be made by Nerd. The NVIDIA Shield version actually had a hitch in the frame rate, which I didn't experience with Galaxy, so it really sucks that they used the Shindo version of 64, though, and it sucks that it's 720p, and it sucks that the sound emulation is, of course, laggy.
It also hurts that it doesn't have Galaxy 2, because as soon as we finished Galaxy 1, I was like, man, I want to just play 2 now. Even though it was like 6 in the morning or something insane, I was just like, what? I want to keep going.
I mean, yeah, if people go back and listen to that fucking, when this first leaked in like May, yeah, that was one of the first things me and Bob said. We've really wanted Galaxy 2 on it. How did they fuck that up?
I mean,
Come on, man.
It's the spirit of that is there. The title screen plays the star music from Galaxy 2.
It's very smart. It's very smart. These brilliant mega brains over at Nintendo. It's amazing. Nintendo, they do this thing. Hear me out. They do this thing where they make really good stuff and then they make really bad decisions.
Ooh.
Now imagine if all three players in the industry did that, right?
That'd be pretty neat.
Sony's been doing that pretty well. Like Demon Souls looks great. Spider-Man's one of the best games of the last generation, and they're fucking it up by not having the Ultimate Edition be something you could get on PS4 and then get the PS5 version of. Or just buy the remaster of the Spider-Man
is
separately.
So good. It's so good, I may want to buy it again.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me I'm doing that. I bought Spider-Man.
I also put on my clown shoes.
I bought I bought Spider-Man for $20 this year. Apparently, I'm doing that twice in 1 year.
That's still good value. It's only $40.
They ship it out on a Rubik's Cube just to confuse you.
I'm like, oh no,
you must complete all this pipe dream to unlock the download.
Finally, if it was only that. But yeah, I think they're leaving a lot of people out in the cold. But yeah, I think it's interesting how Nintendo and Sony make great games and then make bad decisions. I think that balances it out pretty well because then we get to be positive and negative about both of those companies.
Huh.
Those are the only two gaming manufacturers, right? Because I would hate for them to go in other directions.
I have positive news about Xbox. We'll talk about that later.
Good, because I'm scared. I start having an anxiety attack that we already started at the start of this podcast.
Hey, we can't just lead with that.
But yeah, we played that on our stream, which happened on Saturday because the internet was not completely out for over a day there. So we lost our Friday stream. We couldn't do it. But then on Sunday, Monday, we did the let me check. I'm going to check a calendar to make sure I said this exactly right. Yeah, okay, it was Monday. Monday we did the 10th anniversary of Gigaboots live stream, where we've been running the YouTube channel for 10 years.
I'm sure everyone's been there for that.
I'm sure literally no one has been there for all of that except for the people running it.
Bob was hired in year 3.
He's our Drew Baker? Drew Scanlon. Who the fuck's Drew Baker? I do think Bob's the most Drew Scanlon core person in Gigaboots. I don't know. He smiles and everyone's just like, oh. Just you wait, Bob. Your day will come in the meme spotlight.
Oh, no.
Bob does kind of have like the energy of that blinking GIF sometimes, except there's more despair all the time.
Yes.
Because it's always like, what, Battletoads has 3 shooter levels?
Yeah, we dive into way more dark content than Giant Bomb.
Yeah, it's as you take that meme and drag it in the axis, the 2x2, 2 axes direction down towards chaotic evil, that reaction becomes just no. How?
No.
But yeah, no, that was a really great stream. I want to thank everyone who came out. That was my first time seeing an entire Pocky and Rocky game through. We beat Pocky and Rocky 2 on the SNES.
Yeah, the game's tough.
That game was fun as hell. I enjoyed it.
It's real solid.
I didn't pick up the controller for the first 6 levels.
Yes.
Big nuts.
But yeah, no, that's a really great game. We also beat something else, didn't we? What did we beat Mega Man X2. That felt like breathing air to me because I did that so many times as a kid. And then Vox taught me how to do a neon jump.
Was it Neon or Rainbow?
Pretty sure it was neon.
Okay.
But now you have me worried. Pretty sure it's neon. Anyway, but that was a really fun stream. I just wanted to thank everyone who came out for that and everyone who supports the channel.
You're welcome.
It's not easy. But it's gotten a lot easier with everyone's support as of late. So thank you.
Yeah, I support the channel as talent.
Yes. Let me tell you, without their support, that doesn't mean anything. I know because I've been doing it.
Hey, I pledged to our own Patreon.
Yeah, why do you do that? please stop. Casey's like, I just like voting.
I want my voice to be heard.
I'm going to have to back out again in the notes. Again, going to say I have to stop paying myself.
Casey's like, I got to back out. I need to save up for this Xbox Series X.
Hell yeah.
Gonna play read smudged writing.
It's in my orders.
Right
There.
Memory? Are you getting Bright Memory?
No, I'm not a big fan of that franchise.
What franchise? We also have news on that. Bob, did you write that? Yes, you did.
Of course.
Okay, so we'll talk about that later.
The loaded gun is right there on the table. You okay?
We'll talk about that later.
Bright Memory just feels like we're giving all this attention to like Haze.
It's even lower than Haze.
It's lower than Haze.
Haze got like a 4.
Yeah.
It was made by a real dev studio, not an indie that's never done anything before.
There are a lot of game-like things in Haze that you would appreciate as niceties and novelties of the time.
It's game-shaped. It's a game-shaped thing.
Yes.
I was going to try and come up with a meaner analogy. And I was trying to like look at the stuff Sony showed before and like prop one of those up in a similar situation, right? Be like, this is like if PS5 had no launch games, but it was going to launch with Goodbye Volcano High. And they just had to show it everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like I would be having the same emotional reaction where I go, guys, are we really going to say this is a huge launch title? Like,
Hazy, that isn't fair because you know what Sony's equivalent to Bright Memory is? Returnal.
That's not. Come on, man. One of these is a seasoned developer of over, 30 years? I think it's about 30 years they've been making video games. The other one's some guy? Like, I don't know.
Same genre and scope of game.
God damn it, no, it is.
I'm sorry, Dan. This is what happens. Like many
hardcore
people don't even know what the fuck a house mark is.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I didn't understand they existed until Dan told me they did.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of people. A lot of people don't pay attention to.
That's like when Field tried to convince you that no one's bought Killzone before.
I didn't say nobody's bought it because we all did for the Killzone channel.
God, I'm glad we get one meme spoiler cast out of Sony a year. Oh man. Anyway, we didn't really play anything else. Thank you.
We played the Tenchi Muyo RPG.
Nope, we didn't. God damn it! Fine. Talk about the Tenchi Muyo turn-based strategy game.
Even when I was was like the biggest weeb and like had no money and was 15. I'm like, this is bad. I don't want to play it anymore. I got to like level 4. I think I met the horrible original character.
She pops up in the intro and we had a stroke on the stream. We're just like, hello, what are you doing here?
Just the AIC gutter
Yeah.
that she was dug out of.
It's like AIC character design runoff, you know, like the rain just hits all of the real characters and then the runoff formed this thing down in the sewers.
Hello, I couldn't even make it into El Hazard.
Bob, what are you
I don't really have anything to
What are you trying to say about El Hazard? What are you trying
I'm
to
saying it's a little less.
I tuned it out a bit. I thought you were talking about El Shaddai.
No, Bob's referencing 90s anime. It may show up on Weeaboomer someday. Who knows?
Mm.
But yeah, I have really nothing else to say about it other than, hey, it was a tactics RPG in a time where I didn't have much of any of those to try, so I played it a good bit.
Yeah, they didn't really have that many on that system.
Yeah.
Turn-based strategy games from a isometric perspective. I'm struggling to think of one other one. I mean, I hear Ogre Battle or Tactics Ogres on it.
Right, and I think that's about it.
I haven't seen it, though. Probably not even real. Just like Killzone Shadowfall isn't real until Phil has to play it later this year on his PS5.
Exactly.
It's the first game in that franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, God, I wish.
Phil, question. In real life, in actual reality, Killzone Shadowfall is what game in the franchise? Like, what number?
4.
No.
3?
I mean, it's kind of 4, but it's complicated.
It just depends if you count the portable titles.
Yeah.
I was counting the portable titles. Isn't that like the 6th one?
The portable one would technically be the second Killzone game. I think it beat out Killzone 2.
They were going to call Killzone 2 Killzone 3 because of the portable one.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid.
Yes.
That sounds really smart.
Uncharted 4 is actually Uncharted 5 because of Uncharted Golden Abyss.
That would be insane. That would be even worse.
My game of the year last year was Kingdom Hearts 10.
True. Actually, it's pronounced to X. Kingdom Hearts X.
Pronounced key.
Kingdom Hearts Key.
Kingdom Hearts X
No,
Guard.
they already released that for browsers. That's real.
Kingdom Hearts Xrd, and then in my brain I'm like, Mickey Mouse is blazing. So my heart is racing. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all I played in the last week. I've been dealing with tech stuff and other things. Anyway, Bob, did you play anything else?
Yeah, I got to try out the Call of Duty Cold War beta.
That's right.
Sorry, alpha.
I didn't get to do that.
Yeah,
Is
Oh,
there-
alpha. There's no graphics and it barely boots, right?
No, KZ Alpha means it doesn't boot.
No, that means it is booting. That's the first thing that will boot.
Oh, Alpha is the
that's
thing
why
that
I
will
said
boot.
it barely boots. Fucking feel trying to mansplain me over here, showing his nuts.
Casey's
Like,
got a real
dude.
nuts theme. This episode.
Tell me about your nuts, Bob. How'd that go?
Well, after the Mario stream ended, I realized there were only about 3 hours left of that beta being up. So I stayed up to 10 in the morning playing this.
I'm so mad.
It actually is really neat. The graphics look pretty nice. They had a ton of gun customization for this thing since it was out for such a short period of time. They're just like, you're just start at level 30. You can customize everything. Go. Way customization works for guns, and this is different than the past. You now have like, I think it's 8 different categories of attachments for guns, and you get to choose 5 total to take. And each of those different categories has different options in it. Like, okay, this laser sight, it doesn't let you shoot as well from the hip, but it doesn't affect your like aim down the sight speed at all. And this one makes your aim or your hip sight or hip shooting even more accurate, but then aiming down the sight takes like an extra quarter of a second.
Right.
And there's all sorts of like trade-offs for every single attachment you have, and it spells them out in real statistics, let you know exactly what you're getting this benefit for taking this piece of gear. Like, oh, this has better penetration, this does all of this, and has really well broken out stats on it. I'm like, this is great. Thank you for just letting me know what this equipment actually is doing for me.
Yeah, that's always super helpful instead of having to learn it through using it. Because
Right.
then you invent shit.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, this feels faster to aim.
I think it's good. So that's cool. There's also the new mode. God, it's been a few days, so I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like their Enter the Battlefield, which is something they did last time with Modern Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
But this adds even more of emphasis on vehicles. Like, it's 16 to 24 players per team, and like one of the missions they had was just literally the whole thing's on the ocean. It's a one wrecked battleship, and then several other battleships around it, and you're capturing zones. Just like a Battlefield game, and you have jet skis and other smaller boats that you can drive as a team and have Gatling guns on them and such. And it's just a lot of fun to like basically sneak up. Like it has full swimming controls. Like you can dive, you can go under these boats, and it's very smooth controlling, like jumping off your jet ski and losing the guy by swimming under his boat and then being able to sneak up and like jump on his boat from behind and kill him. There's just lots of fun things like that I found. Of like, this is the old school Battlefield feel that I don't feel like Battlefield's hit in a long time. Of like, it's just fun, and goofy, because you can bring in whatever loadout you want.
Mm-hmm.
And C4 does like totally mangle vehicles. So you can just be like, okay, I'm going to swim up under his boat, put the C4 on it, and blow him up.
This is how real soldiers do it in real life.
Yes.
Bob coming out of the water with C4 and a knife between his teeth.
Yeah.
He just detonates the bomb in his mouth.
Finally.
Yeah, when Bob was telling me about this stuff, I was actually like, that's cool, because Battlefield hasn't been good in one console generation. So Call of Duty getting some of that stuff in while also looking and running good, I'm pretty interested in that. So I guess I am going to go through with picking that up for the PS5 just to see how that comes out.
But yeah, it's way more exciting than like their Warzone mode has ever been to me. So it's cool. I hope since they're talking about the whole, like, you can install the parts you want from a game, I'm hoping that you can do that. I'm just like, I don't want to install Warzone. I want to do the campaign and delete that, and then just have the multiplayer sitting around. I probably would do that.
Yeah, it sounds like, Sony's brought up a lot how they're building that into the core of the PS5, and that's important because if I get the Ultimate Edition Miles Morales, I don't want it to eat 110 gigabytes with no way to delete either path.
But yeah, Modern Warfare currently takes like 140 gigabytes on its own.
Yes, it does.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. What was it? Destiny 2 was 108 gigs?
Something like that. Yeah.
We need to take that oodle texture compression to everything.
We really do.
I like noodles.
The Warframe devs, they knew best. God, could you imagine if we could cut that in half? Get Call of Duty down to like 70?
That'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
The only other thing I played was 13 Sentinels.
Oh, right. I still haven't booted that. It's been over there and I've been busy this whole time.
I put it on my shelf, but I forgot to actually start it.
Yeah, no, it's...
Theo comes home from the store, he puts it on his shelf, and then he just watches Simpsons. Casey's like, huh? There's Theo. And I'm like, do you think he can hear us, Casey? And Casey's like, no, I don't think he can.
No, I actually had to, I had something else important to play that day, and then I had other things to do the day before, and then we had podcasts.
Yeah, that's life, yeah.
Yeah, probably got to play 2 hours of this at most or so.
I'm showing a friend because they're sweaty palms levels of pissed off at Sunshine, Mario Sunshine. I sent them a picture of the GameCube controller with the fan in it. And they're like, this might be the single best invention ever made.
I thought you were going to say the GameCube controller with no buttons.
Actually.
Oh, that's good. Maybe I should send them that next. Well, I guess with Bob's segment done.
I haven't said anything about 13 Sentinels yet.
Nope, you're done.
Okay. I'll stop.
Bob, go ahead and tell us about these keywords.
Tell me about this the story setup, because I am very interested.
The story setup is you start the game. It takes you to character select. Beginning of the game, it seems like you can't select different characters at all. So just the prologue, it's going through one character at a time, and you're getting to see different events in different parts of this timeline. But yeah, you basically the gameplay breaks down to mostly like I'd rate it above visual novel levels of interactivity because you actually get like little areas to walk around and you get really stimulating visually art stuff of like, I now learned this keyword from talking to this character, and so I can bring out this videotape and look at it and examine the videotape. So it feels almost like an adventure game, but not quite there either. Like, a point and click style thing, but not quite as deep. So it, really like a visual novel that's more visually stimulating than just a still picture to look at in text. And then it goes into the combat mode, which is happening way more than I expected. Basically, every chapter seems to start with one of these combat modes, and it's really short. It's like a tactical game where you move around your giant robot on this map. This analogy probably won't help many people, but it's like, say you were playing on the Nocturne overworld map. Which is to say, it's almost like a GIF of a city, and you can move around the streets.
Imagine you downloaded a wallpaper of the city map from Sonic Adventure fan site. Really high quality
it's
stuff.
It's materializing in my brain.
It's actually 3D, but it might as well be a GIF.
That's kind of nuts.
And then you get different attacks with each of the mechs, because each character in this game drives a different mech, so each one has different abilities. Like one guy can do a thing where he shoots a bunch of missiles out and it hits an area of enemies. Another one's got this like super fist, so he like dashes forward and hits a bunch of things in front of him. All these sections have been extremely easy. I'm assuming they don't even want to challenge you in these. I don't know if they will ever ramp up the difficulty or not. It also does a really weird thing where, you know how you'd expect to select an attack and then you see an animation for the attack happening and then they do damage? Something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of having anything like that where it solidly shows a connection, when you're looking through your attacks, on the right side of the screen, it has a window in window where it shows the mech doing that attack. It's all gloriously animated because everything in this game is beautiful. But then when you actually do the attack, he just, like, the little cursor basically that represents you flies at the enemy and explosion happens and then the enemies are dead. Because I guess they didn't want to do super detailed drawings of all these enemies or something, or maybe they just wanted to make it faster. I don't know. But yeah, it's neat. I'm excited to play more of it. It does feel a lot more like, say, watching a series of anime than it does feel like playing a full game, a regular game. But it's luckily fully voiced, so English, Japanese, whichever you want, can listen to it. You don't have to be like constantly looking at it and reading it, so that helps. You do need to do a little bit more motion. Like I said, you can actually walk around areas and pick stuff up and things like that. But yeah, I'm excited to play more of this. It's really amazing looking. I'm also very excited for them to move on because it's been like 6 years in development.
Look, man, I stand Vanillaware.
Yeah.
I bought it. That was enough satisfaction. Knowing that the game sold even one more copy. So that way the people who made Dragon's Crown, one of my favorite games of all time, doesn't go under one game later is enough.
Thank God.
But still, I think Tosh will like it, so she'll probably play it. I don't know that I will. I'll probably just watch both of you play it and be like, oh man, I'll gotta get back to work.
Oh man, I can't wait till Dragon's Crown 2 comes out.
Vanillaware hates America unless
Dragon's Crown too.
Hey Bob.
Hey.
Was that everything?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Okay, we're gonna go to Phil. Phil, what you been playing?
I played the first half of Detroit Become Human. That's sure a game. I'm going to say this right now because it was driving me insane in Heavy Rain, and it continues to drive me insane in this game. And I haven't seen anybody just plainly explain it. So, in every David Cage game, toilets exist in closets. And the rest of the bathroom exists in a different room. This is apparently only a French thing, where in some parts of France, it's like, you keep the dirty thing in a different room from the things you use to get clean.
That kind of makes sense.
And the reason David Cage did not do any research on how American bathrooms look, despite setting all his games in America, is because he's an idiot.
That
Whoa.
sounds about right.
I would never guess that one.
But yeah, Detroit is pretty miserable. 66% of it is just the most irredeemable garbage I have ever had the misfortune of experiencing. The other 33% is pretty all right, mostly due to the actors ignoring David Cage. I really enjoyed the wink that David Cage hated so much he tried to get it removed until the actor, I think, said they'd quit if he took out the wink. And the wink has been the best part of the game so far. So I don't think David Cage is very good at anything.
That sounds about right.
Every scene with Kara, I regret not just failing the first QTE you can fail and make her die and just completely remove her from the story.
Yeah, I wish we did that.
Yeah.
Because you're playing a David Cage game and you get to the part where you go to a creepy mansion as the female character and you just know nothing good is going to happen.
Oh, you made it that far, huh?
Oof.
I knew this game was gonna be some shit when you like push against the cyber wall.
To become sentient?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just... It's really bad. I'll talk about it more at length once I completely beat it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just hold off on it until then. And that's all I really played of note.
Okay. Well, hey, KZ.
Hello.
What did you play?
I played some of Going Under, which is a new indie roguelite that is out now. It came out the day we're recording this. The devs sent me a copy of the game, so I was like, all right, I'll give this a try. I like some level of roguelites, and it's really good. I'm imagining astonishingly real for many people, depending on what you work in. The premise of the game is that you're an intern for a startup company that was absorbed by their version of Amazon, and it's just like this corporation took up all these companies, and you're in a soda related one, and they start with an informational video about how it's like, this place only started thanks to two people hanging out in a garage. And now look at them now. They're getting all super, super big and exciting. And then it turns out there are dead startup companies inside the basement. And you need to go in there and fight the monsters in it. Because apparently if your company goes under, they turn into monsters. And they just live in there forever. Like one of them is just called Joblin. And they are goblins inside there. There's also one called Styx Coin, which is a crypto one where it's a mine. It's got miners in it. They're skeletons. They have an enemy that's based on the that famous like Bitcoin guy, I guess, who's just like talking up how great cryptocurrency is, and all he does is walk around and clap. And doesn't attack you, but enemies that stand near him get armor. Yeah, and you collect crypto in that level alone. It has its own currency that you can then turn into real money, but it's really low exchange rate or insanely expensive other items using crypto. And it felt extra real because the crypto company's logo is just the cool S. And I'm like, real life, that would happen. Someone would take the cool S and make it that, just like how Dogecoin exists. And it's got different ones like that. There's like a dating app one that uses emojis. So one of the enemies is straight up an emoji made of like goo. It's like a slime. There's a bunch of fun stuff like that. I almost blacked out when I realized the crypto one had a chain chomp that was a block because it's the blockchain.
Blockchain, yeah.
And I thought that was bad enough, but they literally have chains with blocks on them in the levels, and if you hover over them, they just say blockchain. And I was like, I have enough. The writing's pretty witty, and I've really enjoyed how soul-crushing it seems to be. The gameplay-wise, though, it's a dungeon crawler roguelite, so if you played Binding of Isaac, it's a bit like that. You're going through rooms. Every single floor has a room that you get an item in, and it has a different effect that will do something for you. You have a shop. You've got your You've got a battle room at the end that you have to do that's like a forced fight, that when you clear it, you move on to the next area. Each area has its own specific themed challenge. So like the crypto one is a bunch of the cryptocurrency appears all over the room, and you have to go collect it while they spawn real strong enemies, and they're supposed to like harass you and stuff. You can pick up apps that do different things, but they're all based on like real life apps. So there's a YouTube one, but it's called TubeU, and it's like for when you need a distraction, and if you use it during battle, it creates an inflatable tube version of your character, and it just starts dancing, and then the enemies go after it. You also have a bunch of NPCs in the game that also work at the company, and they have different challenges they give you, and you can make them your mentor, and they'll give you specific like skills when you go into the dungeon that'll make it a little bit better. I picked the CEO, who looks like every white guy CEO to exist in Silicon Valley. And after I completed some of his challenges, he's like, I'm giving you the company card. Use it if you want. And you're like, that's a little weird. And then the game straight up says, you now have the company card. You can now buy things in dungeons even if you don't have the money. And I did it. And I'm like, okay, I just bought this thing. I'm like -20. And then I noticed a ball and chain has appeared on my character with debt written on it that weighs you down and lowers your movement speed depending on how much in the hole you are. It has physics on it.
Oh.
And I went, you know what? It's making me slower, but this benefit was so good. It takes the gameplay style I liked in Binding of Isaac and makes it a lot better, because you also have straight up progression stuff. Every item you pick up, once you do it in a run, and runs are about 15-20 minutes at most. When you finish, you gain proficiency in it, and when you max it out, it can be an item that you can equip to yourself, so you start the run with it every time. And you can have at least one item like that. So if you like something enough and you've used it in a couple of runs, you'll probably have maxed it out, and then you can start every run with it. And each time you beat a stage, you get a permanent health increase. You have all these abilities and side quests to do. Like the CEO's like, unions are the worst. They're the worst thing that could happen to anyone. Don't start a union. My mission is for you to go into this cave and stop the Goblin Union. And I'm like, what does that even mean? I go in there, one random room has like 12 enemies in a room with a chalkboard as they're trying to start their own union. And you have to kill all of them.
Oh. So I assume this is supposed to be one of those games where you don't realize you're the bad guy and the ending's really sad.
It's mostly the main character going, why the fuck are you making me fight monsters? I came here to be a marketing intern for your Twitter account. I hate everything about this. Please stop. Yeah, it's been really good. It's like $20. It's definitely, I think, worth people's time. Overall, the general gameplay is pretty fun. It's like dungeon crawling's got Z targeting, so it plays a little bit like, those Zelda games.
What was the name again for anyone who didn't catch it the first time?
That is Going Under.
Yeah,
it's from Aggro Crab Games. Their logo is a crab with a knife trying to stab you.
Yeah, that game looked pretty fun from everything I was seeing. Just the combat and stuff, and all the other layers on top of it just made it that much better. I'm pretty interested in checking it out.
Yeah, like it has good humor. It's like I pick up an item that's like, this makes it so everything you throw homes in. The item is called She Don't Miss. It's just a bunch of stuff like that. Also, it runs well. The only frame rate hitch I noticed is in the hub, and it's only in the hub if you spin the camera really fast. Otherwise, the main stuff runs perfectly fine. They did a good job with this, and I was looking for a decent roguelite that doesn't fall into the trap of a lot of early ones do, where it's you don't get better as you play, in terms of like, you don't get new things that make future runs easier. So it's just, you have to be better at the game, and that's it. It's just a wall. And this doesn't have that. I feel like the progression tools they give you saves this game a lot. But yeah, that's it for me. That's all I had time to play in terms of new stuff.
Then I guess we should probably talk about the Podlords.
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 88 episodes in, and I'm still like, "Pew!" in my head every time.
God, you did it last episode.
Yeah, no, I have to fight myself. Most of the time I succeed, not all of the time. Yes, the Podlords. Podlords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles, Unproblematic Bug Snack Stan. I love that he's a robot master and his shoes are bananas. It's really good.
God. Look at the orange slice the shoulder pads.
New Dynasty Warriors games make Lubu thirsty. One of the best crossovers ever.
Wasn't Pepsi Next also in Tiger and Bunny?
I think so, but I'm not positive. Red Blaze 27. Plain Old Jucifer. Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Wake up, gamers, because you're in the Big Think Dimension, the first gaming podcast to isolate and sound good. Featuring KZXLN. They couldn't fit the T.
Oh, what is that?
That's why I asked for a new intro, because some of them it's just crunched. It's so crunched.
A Draco. Atlas, please.
No.
Not even once.
Give us the game, Atlas.
Come on, man. Why can't you give us the video game? Can you find John Romero's face on the new Forza car texture?
No.
That's where his soul is sealed.
Every week, I worry about Busey following behind me. He seems to be getting closer and
Got him.
Unhinged Gary Busey Podlord.
Unhinged Gary Busey Podlord.
Oh.
Unhinged Gary Busey Podlord.
Unhinged Gary Busey Polo.
Jesus.
Look at those shiny teeth in the Podlord. God.
Looks a little bit better than the Bayformer, the Bay Turtle design.
Put 3D shades on a drive-through speaker. Call that the KZ series excellent.
That's basically what happens during death streams.
WTF Spider-Man.
Me when Sony won't let me buy the remastered version.
No, you'll buy it with Ultimate alone. That's not a Podlord, I'm just saying that.
I did. I put on my clown shoes.
Oh, fuckers. Mister, I like spam. Sheriff Pecan.
Uh-oh.
This is a fucking mistake. How do you explain this to normal people? Now I'm mozzarella-vated. Fetidus Dante Fetidus.
No! God! I am quite fucking discheesed.
The Xbox Series X is fuck. I fucked it up reading a Podlord. This sucks. The Xbox Series S is brought to you by the letter S. It also stands for stop. Please, Xbox, stop.
The Series S is just the first dragon strong bad Drew. The S is for socks.
I made that joke last night because I did the create button joke last night on Twitter. DFW3K welcomes Bob to his new job at Amazon Game Studio.
Oh no! Oh, they're so fast.
This is fucked up.
Armed with only a pool noodle, Amazon vows to kill Google Stadia.
They might be able to. Google Stadia has a skull like an eggshell.
They're so cheap. That's the smallest pool noodle I've ever seen.
It would do nothing.
Dan checking his replies like
Why are you a ginger?
I'm okay with this.
Look at the Mega Man shirt. Or a Sonic shirt. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, is he running a bit or is he blind?
Are you buying Sonic the Hedgehog? I've heard you've held a blue controller before.
Oh no!
It's true. It's true. I'm buying Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hell yeah.
Found my kunai now to get my PS5 pre-order.
Knifing a GameStop employee in the neck.
Good luck, you know. KC. Teenage Mutant Ninja Tonberries.
They just all have knives.
You're fucked, man.
Come on, Shredder, you got this. They're so slow.
You don't get it, man. These turtles are ninjas. I don't think so, man.
These Tonberries are like a trash compactor, each of them. He's done.
Yeah, they're like 7. Imagine a 7 feet tall Tonberry coming at you.
They have the bone structure of the Fall Guys.
Yes. Chase Ray. Devil Summoner Raido Kuza-Noha versus Digital Devil Saga Switch Edition. See that mountain? You could fuck another man on that mountain exclusively on Xbox Series X.
Maybe not.
Because Skyrim is...
We are so excited at Google Stadia that we're giving an exclusive fuckable mountain for Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yes. Skyfire Hero says to please take...
What? Oh no.
You know the thing when you read a sentence and you insert a word because you're used to it being there? Yeah, I just did that, so I hit a brick wall as I realized that word wasn't there. Skyfire Hero says to please take of yourselves. People love and care about you. I assume it was a genuine typo. If this thing becomes they're going to remove a word at random every week, I'm going to have a seizure. Please don't do that to me.
Now it is.
Kyle,
Yeah, you fucked yourself now.
Yeah, that's fair. Fuck you very much to our podlords.
Thank you, Podlord, who named themselves that.
Don't leave that, my guy. Sony Santa Monica, when Anthony Birch writes another meme into God of War 2. Is this how I find out about this news?
We talked about it already.
No, you made a reference to something that I assumed was fully a joke.
No, that was real.
Oh, God. I swear to God, this person renamed themselves in the past few seconds. 1 second.
These tricky podlords.
Now you gotta put a fucking -2 on that fucking...
You're not allowed to rename yourselves after 5 o'clock Eastern on Thursdays.
I mean,
Correct.
To be fair, I could have just missed it. Oh well, it's worth going back for. Because Apple Gothic is in a timeline where Skyrim gets re-released every month through Game Pass. Oh, wait!
Oh no!
Yeah, does that count? If you pay your monthly Game Pass subscription, does that count as another re-release of Skyrim?
I mean, that's your Skyrim bill.
Your Skyrim bill, fuck.
Todd's looking pretty red.
He is. Well, he's on the sign. Zilter. Why Operation British was justified.
Oh, it's like a Gundam Rantsona. That's somebody wearing the I forget what the fuck its name is, but the last mech that Char uses in OG Gundam as a head. So I guess the conceit is that it is a Xeon Rantsona channel.
I'm just unfamiliar with Operation British, so
That's where they dropped the fucking colony on them.
They called that Operation British?
Yeah, but by dropping it on Australia.
I know, right?
Missed.
That's like,
Operation British was a failed military operation during the 1-week battle of the 1-year war. It involved dropping a colony on Jaburo base.
I did not realize. Huh. Okay. Did not know that's the name of that. Them podlords ain't right.
You're right. We had to decode that one.
Zass, like Kirby, will suplex anyone who challenges him. Podlords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles. This is a fucking mood right now. Zebo101 had flashbacks when Dan mentioned attachment rates during the last podcast. Sorry, Zebo. You're never safe again after working at a game store. Cloud gaming is fine, actually. Just look at this graveyard.
God, that guy's so stupid.
People said this shit wouldn't catch on. Here's 8 logos you've never seen before.
Shane is a big fan of those dinosaurs.
Oh my god!
So am I! This is so good. Bring back the Cool Ranch Taco. Parentheses, please tip your waiters and Uber drivers. God, yeah, they should. Item! I still don't know what's with that name, but I'll
Is that?
Yup.
read it.
Oh, I fried it. I was like, well, who's Strong Mad? What?
I am no longer coping, for I have left for college. Oh, I've left college. Oh, okay. That's a very different meaning. I thought you were going there, but in fact, you were leaving there. Well, I guess you don't have to cope
There's a
because
lot
you're
of
fine.
cope. There's a lot of cope in college.
Copium.
I should have put the word "and" in front of that because thank you very much to our podlords. This is real. This is the real ending of the podcast.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thanks, Podlord.
Thank you all, podlords.
I'm putting the coin in the slot.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our
Hold on.
Patreon.
Let me put in 2 more.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Mondo Cool and Chugging Bleach, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches where we actually get to explain our ideas, except not for Kiwami because we just make that shit up on the spot. Cursed Content Club commentary tracks, Cursed Content by Committee, our user-voted Cursed Content show. This month we're watching Michael Bay movies. It's going to hurt, or rather one movie, fuck ever watching more than one at once. And many other benefits. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Yes, thank you to our podlords and all the other supporters. We wouldn't be here without you. We'd be somewhere else, so we don't starve to death.
Probably be asleep.
No, I definitely, I wouldn't be doing that.
Get in a ditch.
We got some news this week. I'm going to cover some quick shit. And whoever's highlighting the whole document, okay, there you go, Casey. It's like, it's cool.
There you go.
Pink's a very
quick-
cool color, but I would
quick
appreciate
shit, right?
it not being my whole screen.
That's some quick shit right
Oh,
there.
no, I'm not talking about that. I didn't even write any of that. I'm going to talk about, so the price came out for the external upgrade storage for the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. It is $220 and adds a terabyte to your system. Prices also came out of some Samsung drives that might be the ones that work in the PS5. The price on that ended up basically the same. So, 1 terabyte will set you back $230 instead of $220, which is on the Series X. Keep in mind, Sony has not officially said that this is the exact SSD you'll need, but based on the specs and the fact it's made by Samsung, which the internal drive in the PS5 is also made by Samsung, it's almost definitely that drive. Thing of note, real quick, we still don't know if you rip out your original internal drive and replace it with a new drive in the PS5. That is the most likely situation, but we still don't know for sure. If that is the case, then that means you're paying $230 for a 170 gig upgrade. Meanwhile, on the Series X, you're paying $220 and it's stacking it on top of your system. That is incredibly important to note the difference of, but Sony hasn't officially said.
I got really sad looking at the Xbox news for that. I was like, man, imagine buying the Series S. And buying this would make it so you'd have more hard drive space than the Series X, finally, because you only get like half a terabyte in the S. And you're like, you do that, and then that means that if you bought both at once immediately, you would have paid $550 something, and you might as well just buy the X. And then I started having a panic attack.
Don't worry, Casey. Basically, nobody is ever going to buy a Series S, and the longer it goes on, the more numbers we have to confirm that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think the numbers online polling from all sorts of corners of Twitter. So don't say, Dan, your polling is biased. I didn't make a poll about this. Anyway,
your polling's biased, even though you got retweets from multiple other different circles.
Yes, no, that thing was way outside of my circle real fast. But anyway, it looks like an 11th as many people are interested. So that's 1 in 12 people are getting a Series S instead of a Series X. Yeah, no, it's not going to be that many people who get screwed, I guess. So that's good.
Yeah, they bought Xbox One X's instead.
So we'll transition to talking about that, I guess.
Before we move on, I think it's really important to note stuff like this where it's custom peripherals for a system.
Mm-hmm.
Price basically doesn't adjust.
Right. That thing's going to be $220 for a chunk of time. We'll be lucky if it goes down. The Sony solution will be open market. You're not buying it from Sony. So the price will go down eventually. So long term, the Sony solution will make itself self-evidently better. But in the short term, there's a mild advantage on the Xbox side because, as I said, you could just stick that card in and you get a clean extra terabyte.
Right.
The Sony thing, we still don't know. Probably not.
Because people may have forgotten that Xbox is opting for the Vita strategy of proprietary memory card.
Yeah, I was on a
proprietary SSD.
I was on a Discord and somebody was like, I used to work in customer service. I know which of these I would like to explain to someone's grandma. And I'm like, one moment, I'm imagining telling my grandma to go to the store and buy me a $220 memory card.
Yeah. This is an enthusiast purchase. It's $220.
It's $220. Like, Jesus. And that doesn't even feel good for the person who bought it as a present. And you get to at least be like, oh, I bought him the limited edition of whatever. He got this statue. He loves that series. Instead, with this, it's I got him storage.
It's the video game equivalent of socks. also, like, I'm gonna be real. A kid will just delete games they are done playing. They probably won't upgrade their storage on their console.
Probably not.
I don't really get this the situation where this kid's like, Grandma, I need 2 terabytes of storage. Like, no, he's the kid that isn't even good. That kid isn't even gonna know that exists.
That is one step away from my newborn baby told me all about how capitalism must burn. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's basically the video game version of that.
I was losing it yesterday because me and Bob, we talked about it, and then I just started coming up with this hypothetical. It's like, Grandma, what are you doing? You're putting too much tension on the M2 slot, Grandma. You're gonna break my PS5, Grandma. What are you doing?
Grandma, you turned off ray trace reflections.
Grandma, I'm fucking tired of uninstalling Fortnite. Fucking get it done. Get it done, Grandma.
Take my TV off soap opera mode.
I swear to God, Grandma, I will crush you with this PS5. 10 fucking pounds. Anyways, but yeah, no, the open market solution is long-term the vastly better thing because I can go to my PS3 and stick any size drive in it. And it's way cheap, That's how these things work out over time. It'll reduce in price and we'll get higher capacities.
I did that with a Wii U.
As long as the FCC keeps showing up every once in a while, or FTC keeps showing up every once in a while to hit them in the shins with a bat and just be like, stop being a memory monopoly. And they're like, okay. And then they lower the prices a bit and then they go right back to it. Thanks, memory monopoly. Anyway, there was a SKU of the Xbox One X on Amazon that shot up 750% relative sales during the Series X pre-order window.
You see people, it's one of two things. Either they program bots wrong or people, made the mistake because they're like, well, I clicked the Series X and upon clicking it, it gave me an error message because Amazon was doing that the whole time for 20 minutes. You would try to click their links that people even provided, gave you the dog. So then you search it. You search Series X and the One X is the top result. So it's possible someone glazes over.
Impossible. Nobody's confused. Okay?
No one's confused.
No one do that on accident.
No, that's propaganda by people with brains.
Yeah,
discontinuing it so that its price stayed at $500 made it the problem worse.
A little bit. The whole situation sucks.
Like, also, I'm just bots are so much less likely to make this mistake. Bots can't think.
No, they had it aimed at the wrong thing because whoever made the bot was dumb.
Yeah, that's what they keep saying. They keep saying the guy who made the bots was smart enough to make the bots, but stupidly pointed them at the wrong UPC or SKU or whatever. That's what they're entertaining. So I'm just going to ignore it and move on. So, as I referenced in the opening of this podcast, you can now install Xbox games before you even buy them. And that works for the disc version too. So you can, on your phone using the Xbox app, tell it to download a game before you get the disc in your system. So that way, the moment you get that disc in, you're good to go. This is the single best news Xbox has given me in 6 years. Dan, why is it 6 years? Because that's when they took the Kinect out of the box.
I mean, what about all the other things they did?
Go on, list them.
They announced Scalebound in the past 6 years.
So, yeah.
Oh, I think they announced that before they took the Kinect out.
No, they announced it after that. But yeah, fuck you, Casey, for bringing that up. Anyway, this is an awesome feature. Obviously, you would want this on everything. So I hope Sony figures their shit out and does that too. On a somewhat related note, I was in the middle of the Big in Japan sale, and after adding something like 5 things to my cart, the whole store crashed.
Yeah, can't use the store on the PS4. It just, it can't handle more than 2 things in the cart.
I'm a fucking stooge trying to buy things on my PS4.
I think it was that night. That night, I was peeking at a stream, and someone straight up just couldn't play their games that were digital because like the servers just died.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Yeah, like the servers died, and they're like, "We need to connect online for us to allow you to play these games." And then they're like, "Man, that PS5 disc was real tempting."
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell all my games to buy a PS5 digital. I won't look up how much it would cost me to get all those games again digitally before I do this. I'm very smart.
Dude, that dude on Reset Era is literally the poster child for I have decided to die on this hill in an argument and I will now carry this out. I'm convinced I'm right. No, I will do no research. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get a digital only console. There's always good physical sales. In fact, I got one on Mario 3D All-Stars where I saved $10 over that unreasonable price.
You know, it's funny how we constantly have to endure stories of like digital so much sales now, it gets more every year. Yet all digital consoles still seem to fail. It's almost like people know that physical is good and the people who solely buy digital are very few.
I mean, I literally would buy a Series S if it had a disc drive, but it doesn't. So
no, those people just own Blu-rays, Phil.
Everyone owns Blu-rays.
Yep.
No, they don't own any other device to play Blu-rays with.
No
one made any of those. The only ones that exist are PlayStation 3s, 4s, and Xboxes.
So I guess we got to talk about the giant news this week.
This must be a swerve.
You know, I think we covered it last week, but I'll go ahead and stress it. The saves don't work from the PS4 original version of Spider-Man with the PS5 remaster. You can only buy it with Ultimate. It sucks. It sucks. There, we covered it. So Xbox bought Bethesda. $7.5 billion. They bought all of Bethesda and its studios, so Zenimax, I believe.
They bought Zenimax Media.
Yeah, so that means they bought at least 9 or 10 studios. It's a ridiculous number of studios.
They put out that image of like every big game they put out in the past few years.
They got Alpha Dog, Arcane, Bethesda, id, Machine Games, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and Zenimax Online Studios.
Now, I'm gonna say this again because I said it on Twitter, but this is big think. If you were pissed about Spider-Man being a playable character only on the PlayStation versions of the Avengers, you either need to admit one of two things. You either need to commit to being 20 times as angry over this, a thing where all of these classic gaming IPs have been cut off from a platform seemingly, we don't know yet, or You need to just decide you're stupid. Because Spider-Man is nowhere near as important as Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, Doom, Starfield, The Evil Within, Prey, and Dishonored. Like, that's a huge amount of IP.
It's not confirmed yet. They can't get mad yet because it's not confirmed yet. And the way interviews have gone, people have a feeling it's more likely that everything's still going to come out everywhere.
That may be the case, but at the end of the day, this is still a classic Disney situation where having one group own all of the important IPs is bad.
Yeah, I just know we're walking into another one of those situations, right? Where it's definitely bad.
Yeah.
Like I could support like say PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo going, I'm going to buy a developer. I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm going to buy one of the biggest publishers in video games.
Right.
Is something that I'm, one, makes me shit my pants because, like, holy shit, you woke up. But two, that's pretty rough. But given the situation of should they get mad that you were going with people with, it's one of those things where it doesn't look bad yet of them locking the games away to one platform yet. So it's going to be like the Game Pass thing where the bad thing hasn't happened with it yet. But the fact that you've taken a stance being against it, people are going to be like, if Sony bought it, you would have been excited.
No, absolutely not. There's only one company in the world I'm okay with Sony buying, and that's Konami's IPs from them because Konami doesn't do dick. Though apparently we'll be hearing something soon.
I saw almost a dozen different people say that we would have cheered for it because of that Game Pass shit. People are convinced we're just Sony shills now.
You people are fucking stupid. There is no world in which I think a giant corporation buying a huge corner. This is fucking Fallout, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, Prey, The Evil Within, and Starfield. There is no world in which I want to go, yeah, those other guys don't get that. That's good. Like fucking come
I'd
on.
like to point out, I haven't played a game Bethesda has made on consoles in the past decade.
I mean, yeah, I played Doom 2016 on a PS4, but I played Eternal on PC. I don't even like their catalog. Like, I'm not a Bethesda gamer, but all I can think of is, one, giant corporations are fucking insane. It's in their nature. They're myopically attached to the idea of profitability. If something goes weird with Xbox, they now have to figure out what to do with Bethesda. Meanwhile, if they hadn't bought them in the first place, their fates wouldn't be intertwined, right? Zenimax, they seemed like a perfectly healthy publisher. They weren't in dire straits. This is a huge catalog of games a giant corporation bought. It is very similar to the Disney thing. I don't like it just on that basis alone. If they start doing the exclusivity things, I have people I'll think of and I'll feel bad for, you know? Like, I know people who like Skyrim who wouldn't like to be forced to buy an Xbox.
Yeah, no, they may not be popular in this, like, circle of people we know, but those are some of the literally biggest games in all of Western gaming.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
I've been fielding questions about Elder Scrolls and the new Starfield for like 3 years.
There's a reason they have a conference, despite there being plenty of years where they don't have anything to justify it.
Yeah.
Literally all anyone wants next gen is a new GTA and new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I mean, those are the people in my replies telling me that the 8th generation of consoles was bad because they didn't get a new GTA or Skyrim. That's all it is to them. That's all.
You gotta
all
put
of
in perspective
gaming.
the how insane this amount of money they paid was. Because this is what Disney paid for Star Wars and Marvel combined. And I think more.
I think more.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Now
they got some blank check shit going on over there.
Yeah, no, Phil Spencer said that, and he just fucking proved it. So, because every time he was like, "We have a blank check," I'm like, "You're buying studios that are in dire straits." I really don't get that impression. If you had a blank check, where's our launch title?
We even talked about it like last week about they don't buy any.
Like, yeah, they haven't bought anything super impressive, and then Phil Spencer apparently sensed us through the morphogenetic field and went, "Fuck you."
I see the flood of news that morning, and I went, "This is genuinely insane." And I was like, part of me is like, "Good, you're at least trying."
I mean, I'd feel that way. I mean, it's good to know they have neurons firing over at Xbox, but at the same time, it's like
they showed nothing that was proving to me
I'm
that they
not
were
sure.
trying to build a decent like catalog. This definitely is proof that they're trying to build a large catalog.
To me, it just one of the first thoughts I had about the thing, other than I hate giant corporations buying a huge amount of culture, is the thought that they couldn't reach a price on getting these games on Game Pass, so they just bought them.
That seems like an insane chunk of change just to get them on Game Pass.
But that's the first thing they said.
Now, this isn't me dismissing my friends. I love these people, okay? Every friend I have who is that into Skyrim would absolutely just pay a Skyrim tax and then not go buy the game. They would just sign up for Game Pass, get Skyrim and a few other games, and then only play Skyrim.
Well, yeah, otherwise they'll keep trading it in, thinking they're done with Skyrim, but they never are.
Yeah.
Bob worked at a game store for years. I think that is the most damning story he's ever told.
I don't like Skyrim. I think it is kind of terrible in a lot of ways. But still, once a year, the trickster spirit of Todd Howard appears on my shoulders. And it's like, come on, Phil. Mod it. Just spend a day modding it. It'll be good. It'll be good this time, Phil.
That shit happened last year.
Yeah. If not for these new consoles, it might happen again this year.
Fucking Todd Howard jingling the little bells on his shoes.
God damn him.
But yeah, no.
I would like to point out, though, that really this was just Todd Howard tricking Microsoft into buying Skyrim.
Correct. The biggest sell ever.
Yes.
The interview they did was pretty hilarious. Where they had Major Nelson interviewing Todd Howard, Phil Spencer, and Pete Hines about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, I gotta ask the question, what's going on with Starfield? And Todd's like, we're working really hard on it, and we're closer to releasing it than we were when you first said that question. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit.
That's great. No, that's good.
It took me a second for it to really like hit me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, it was that, and just going, yeah. When we made Morrowind, we had memory issues, and Xbox said, well, if you have an image up, you could just reboot the console. So if you had a long load, it's because we were rebooting the entire Xbox.
Yeah, there's a command to keep an image on the screen or just fade to black. Reboot the system, pretend like none of it happened, and then it just passes a custom argument. So that way when the game boots, it knows specifically what to boot into, which is insane. Because one, that's insane. I've never heard of a console doing that ever. Two, that means they have to support that in the back compat of Morrowind on the One X.
All I can think of is Phil was like, yeah, I bought the studios. Okay, show me where you're making Starfield. And it's just an empty silo.
He's like, wait. And then the door closes behind him.
Grain starts to flood in from above.
We had a deal, Todd Howard.
Zenimax was always, everyone's saying Zenimax was the reason. Apparently the devs over at Bethesda, there's been confidential ones going like, hey, we can't fucking get a new engine because Zenimax keeps saying no because they sell. Will that happen now? Will Microsoft say yes?
Well, they told another lie that they're getting the new engine, and they tell this lie every single time they ship a game. So I guess we'll have to see. Starfield won't have the new engine. It's too late for that.
Yeah.
But maybe Elder Scrolls 6 will just be like, please, sir, can we just use Unreal?
Todd's like, we will totally do this. Please, I will do whatever you want. Just give me money to make a new one.
What's up, Bob?
I think anyone optimistic about these games getting less buggy or getting a new engine or any of this is completely unfounded. They basically said we're changing nothing.
Oh yeah, not a chance.
Yeah.
And that's the weirdest part of this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. You can't spend $7.5 billion on Bethesda and then not sell any of their games. You're not going to make that back in a reasonable period of time on Game Pass, and apparently they're respecting the exclusivity deals with the PS5.
That's what I was about to say. Not sell any of them. Well, it's like I can't deal with it. We bought Bethesda. Okay, what's our first game we're putting out? Well, 2 of them are coming out next year, and we can't do anything with them for a year.
Like I tweeted, Microsoft has more PS5 exclusives coming out next year than Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, those will hit Game Pass. I think it's a year exclusivity. It might be 6 months, but it might be a year, which means Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop do not hit Game Pass until 2022.
That's so insane. Yeah, that whole situation's nuts. I'm glad Microsoft's not going insane paying whatever the clause or fee is to get out of that contract, because I'm sure it exists, right?
Yeah, but it must be. It's either astronomical or Microsoft really is just going to keep putting everything on every platform and being like, our goal is to make money, fuck selling consoles.
I mean, if that's what they want to do, then whatever. I mean, Cuphead's on everything. That's good for everyone. Ori's on everything. That's good for everyone.
Yeah, but they don't own Cuphead.
Yeah, I know.
Ori's only on Switch.
Yeah, Microsoft does own Ori.
That's what I was going to get at, where it's like Microsoft publishes Ori on Switch.
Yeah.
But Studio MDHR like has full control over Cuphead. Mm-hmm. So that makes it so I don't think you're going to see Ori on PlayStation.
Yeah, but there are other Microsoft games like Minecraft where it's on everything.
Right.
And they don't want to ruin that. They understand how that's profitable. If you stop selling on PlayStation, so you're only PC and Xbox, and then the Xbox's crowd is being shoved really heavily towards Game Pass.
Yeah, it's the exact problem Jim Ryan talked about last week. He might have known about this.
I don't know about that. I think he just can do basic math of we spend over $100 million. You can't be like, okay, here's Starfield. It took 8 years to develop. Probably cost at least $150 million. It's day one Game Pass and for sale on PC and also Game Pass on PC. We're gonna make that money back, right? Like, no, you're not, Sweetums.
I did think it was funny when some people came out reporting saying this is a pretty funny thing that happened because Sony was doing meetings with Bethesda to get timed exclusivity on Starfield.
Watch it still happen.
Could you imagine?
Meanwhile, I was thinking, Starfield almost feels like a thing where if they wanted to do any sort of exclusivity, Microsoft, now that they own them, they could just go, it's day one Game Pass, but 6 months later it can come to the other platforms.
But yeah, this news is insane. I'm glad that Microsoft isn't spending huge amounts of spite money to, break out of the exclusivity contract.
The amount. This has poisoned people's brains too.
Yeah,
where I just see people genuinely upset that they're not buying more studio. It was like, we're not doing a studio acquisition announcement on TGS, and people were genuinely upset about it.
People are deranged.
People were like, it's a real shame. We're really hoping they could do a nice 1-2 punch and get WB Games as well. It's too bad WB backed out on that.
Look, Phil Spencer, blank check, whatever. He spent like 8% of Microsoft's cash on hand on this. I think Microsoft is probably done with enormous acquisitions for a little bit.
Yeah.
I hate that this announcement is giving credence to these insane people who have been saying this sort of stuff for years, long before they had any reasonable expectation. Like, people have been saying, oh yeah, they're going to buy Sega. And they've been doing that forever. And that's doing it again, of course.
Yeah, right. I don't...
Microsoft is going to buy Sega has come up every 9 months for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now these people have, like, this example.
I made it with PlayStation as a joke, and we laughed and thought it was a funny haha.
Yeah.
But these people now they've created, and through this action, the result of fanboys on both, no matter what platform holder you are, is like, they could do that. PlayStation has to buy Konami and Capcom and Square Enix right now, and then they need to fight back. That was the first thing, like, people immediately on Twitter, immediately on like Reset Era, immediately everywhere just going,
Sony doesn't have the money to buy all them.
No.
No shit. But people are like, I don't know how this works, but you should buy everything to combat it.
Okay.
Third parties eliminated.
So here's something that no game journalist has ever done in their entire fucking miserable life that I did. which is research.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Incorrect.
So let's talk about, because Microsoft said they're open to buying more studios.
Okay.
So let's talk about the realities of that a little bit. Firstly, if Microsoft's going to buy any studio that's publicly traded, any company that's publicly traded, they're listed on an open stock exchange. Yeah, Bethesda, Zenimax was a private thing. They were like the biggest private thing, except Valve. I think Valve is also private.
Why Valve get nothing?
Get nothing.
I'm gonna die.
Hey, they could just put a little Xbox logo in the corner of Steam and be like, "We have a good store platform."
Yeah, I was going to say, you buy Valve, you get Steam. That's so much more important than a developer.
Right.
But if Microsoft is going to buy a publicly owned studio, we will know so far in advance. This isn't a thing where Phil Spencer can walk into the CEO of Sega's office and show a briefcase full of cash and now he owns Sega. That isn't how publicly traded companies work.
Like, you gotta ask a couple people.
Minimum, you have to make an offer to the board of investors, but usually you have to own a bunch of stock in the company first.
Mm-hmm.
And companies have, especially Japanese companies, for the record, have ridiculous amounts of unique bylaws and shit. Where it's like, you can't move this much stock in this amount of time. The CEO has to approve stock transfers of above this much. Stuff like that. It gets very complicated. So if Microsoft is buying Sega, we will know the instant they start trying, and it will take months to actually happen if it does. While I'm talking about that,
mm-hmm.
None of you motherfuckers know what market cap means.
No, of course not.
All market cap is the sum of all outstanding shares of stock. It does not mean if you have the amount of the market cap, you can buy the company. Because you know what finding out Microsoft wants to buy your company would do to the price of stock? Shove a rocket up its ass. If you want to know about how much it would take to buy a company, as a general rule, just double the market cap. And it might even still be higher than that. Now, the other way Microsoft can potentially obtain studios is they can just buy the studios from these companies. They don't have to buy the whole company. Like, they could theoretically buy the entire game. They could buy Sega from Sega Sammy. They could buy all the developers from Sega. That still isn't specifically Japanese companies more than Western companies own a lot of shit that isn't video game related. They own theme parks and arcades and resorts and manga companies and animation studios, and all this shit is incestuous.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, Sega Sammy sells Sega to Microsoft. Now their arcades don't have Sega IPs. They can't make like a Sonic pachinko machine, which of course they do. They can't do that cross promotion, which is really valuable. Also, we're in a pandemic right now, so I don't think they're going to sell their game development sections and keep the things that are closed
Right.
at the moment. And this is true for Capcom. Capcom owns an entire real estate company.
Yeah, but
Trades real estate.
But Microsoft
It's called
has blank check.
Captron.
Blank
It's called Captron.
blank check.
But own the Sony.
Sony own?
People don't think a lot of aspects of this through, all right? Like, just people think that every single acquisition is going to be like some secret, like a secret game announcement because of this private company one.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that it was a private company for Zenimax, so that explains a lot of how this happened.
Yeah, because you look at what happened for years this gen of what was the company? Was it Vivendi trying to get Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing, which we knew because Ubisoft is a public company, I imagine, because they're like...
Yeah, Ubisoft is public. Ubisoft, EA. Zenimax was the only huge publisher that was private.
Yeah, so that's like, that's how that's how it works normally. And we knew about that stuff for like multiple years.
Yeah.
Finally ended, but that's how it's normally going to happen.
Like, another big thing is there's a couple more things, specifically on the Japanese one, since Xbox fanboys start salivating because that's the biggest owned Sony, because the Japanese developers are all, PlayStation focused, because nobody has bought an Xbox in Japan since 2009. One, a lot of companies have a thing where shareholders have to vote on whether or not they want to be acquired.
I'm sure they would
And
be
it's based
very
on shares, of course.
I'm sure they would be very copacetic to the concept of an American corporation buying them.
Yeah, there's that. Then there's the very real chance. I forget if we talked about it on a stream or something, or I did. One of us did. Where it's like, or maybe it was just a private conversation. We have so many, I forget, where people were like,
yeah, we're mostly in contact.
You think Bethesda employees are going to leave because of Microsoft? I'm like,
oh,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
But
someone asked that.
A Japanese company, you're being told nobody you know will ever see your work again. So I think there's a lot more potential for Microsoft to buy a Japanese company, and all the talent leaving, and Microsoft is stuck holding the bag.
I mean, you
I
could.
tried to imagine Capcom, how they try to buy Capcom, and I remembered the shareholder that asked Capcom, "Yo, what are you doing with arcades?"
Yeah,
And they asked that this year.
Yep.
Microsoft has made it blatantly obvious at this point, and I think we have to start taking them seriously now when they say we don't care about selling consoles and we're not directly competing with Sony. I think we have to take them seriously and go, they're not going to try and own Sony because they don't care.
I mean, for me, I think the largest argument is you can't spend $7.5 billion and then take the dominant console, because, guys, it's happening again. Look at all the fucking reactions online. People are much more interested in the PS5 than the Xbox, okay? So it's clear it's going to have a lead of some quantity. Who knows how much? We'll just have to see it out. You can't close off the dominant force in the marketplace for potential sales and make back $7.5 billion within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, and people still aren't paying money for Game Pass. They still have that conversion deal, by the way.
Right.
You can still convert Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass Ultimate.
Right. And who's to know?
You're never going to make that money back on Game Pass and PC by themselves, especially with PC Game Pass.
Yeah, things would have to change so radically, so fast with cloud gaming and everything else, and the adoption rates of these things, and also Microsoft's penetration in the market with cloud gaming, like how many people are even aware xCloud exists, for them to have the sort of numbers where they are making Netflix money or something like that. But by and large, video games cost more than television and movies, right?
A lot more.
Yes.
And when Netflix TV show, you can't compare Game Pass to Netflix. It needs to be something more like Spotify, because TV shows are made and then they air on TV, and then they make advertising, and then they get put on Netflix.
Well,
and movies,
that's
movies
okay.
are made and make their money or don't make their money, and then get put on Netflix. Games are just made, just like music, and it's like Spotify, where there's going to be a point where people are going, we don't make any money on this streaming thing.
Well, no, see, it's great for back catalogs. Thus, Skyrim, which has sold a ridiculous amount of copies, gets to come out on Game Pass. I don't know. But anyway, yep, I already stated my stance on all this. I'm never excited for a giant corporation to own more of any culture, whether that's movies, comic books, video games, music. It's never a great thing to hand all of a huge corner of culture just to one giant corporation, which we've often seen with both Sony and Microsoft. They flip-flop on a shitload of stuff. Games for Windows Live, the whole Kinect. Me and Bob were talking about, there's, as far as we know, and it would be shocking if Bob didn't know this, there's still no camera for the Xbox One for people who want to live stream straight from the console, because they're that scared of Kinect. This mostly came up because me and Bob were looking at launch lineup stuff and being like, are there any accessories we need for Xbox?
Oh, so you mean for the series?
Well, even one, Yes. Oh my God, did I say?
Yeah, you said one.
I thought I said for the Xbox. God damn it. I was talking about there's no camera for the Xbox One. Like in the 7 years that it's been out, they never made another one because the Kinect went so bad. This is carrying on to the series.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was talking about. But yeah, anyway, that's corporations flip-flop all the time. It's really not great. And if Microsoft had a much better track record for handling studios, this would be a different conversation. But they're not Disney. They didn't turn shit into gold. This isn't the people who turned Marvel's comic book universe into the MCU, bought Star Wars, which also went bad. Just reminding people. This is Microsoft, who shut down and ruined most of their IPs and studios over the years, bought a huge corner of gaming. And for anyone who's brain dead and somehow doesn't realize, Project Gotham Racing as a series is dead. All of Rare's catalog is being underutilized. The people who made Age of Empires is fucking dead.
What is their catalog even being used? Just Battletoads? Is that the only one?
That's the only game they've done anything
That was the
with.
only one, and it was like a joke for like a decade that they would have someday do it.
Yeah, they did it because of a meme.
You can tell because that game cost $5.
It's fucking nuts. Like, Microsoft doesn't have a great track record for handling studios. I think Sony also doesn't have a great track record, but they have a much better one because the studios they keep do turn out quality time and time again. You know, like they shed a lot of studios towards the end of the PS3, the beginning of PS4, but all the studios they're left with now are very well supported and make great games. Meanwhile, Microsoft, they didn't ship one AAA game this year. Not one.
Yeah.
Someone out there's going to say Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's not on console. That's not on Xbox.
Isn't it on Xbox now? Didn't it just launch?
No. Dude, that thing's CPU bottlenecked on PCs with i9 10,900K CPUs. How the fuck is that going to run on an Xbox One? I still don't know. I hope they ship it because they said they would. I'm going to look.
So let's do a couple polls real quick.
Sure.
Will these games be Xbox exclusive? We have to get like definitive predictions.
I'm gonna have a stroke. I need to say something real quick.
Sure.
Trying to search if Microsoft Flight Simulator came out on Xbox. You want to know what I found?
What?
A page for Microsoft Flight Simulator on Xbox.com for the Windows 10 version.
Yeah,
because Xbox is just their game brand now. So which leads credence to this thing where these things are going to be on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete, somebody's going to get mad and call me a Sony fanboy for saying this. Let me say that this is not me leveling. This is not an Xbox doomed statement. But if Microsoft within the next 5 years says we're going to stop making consoles, we're just going to be a huge game publisher on other platforms with our own compute PC branch, that would match perfectly with what they're doing.
Yes, it would. You can...
Like, they aren't making decisions like we're trying to sell a console.
Yeah, they're not console first in any regard this year. The only two AAA games that came out were Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and Gears of War Tactics. Neither of those are on Xbox.
Gears Tactics is soon. I think that's before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
I think it's December.
Good. I'll play it on Xbox, and then I could at least talk about it during Game of the Year. Yeah, it's still just it doesn't have a date. What's the poll though, Phil? November 10th.
Are these games going to be Xbox exclusive? We need official predictions on that, and then there's another thing we're going to get predictions on.
We need a timeline on that. Do we think all of Bethesda's games for the next 3 years are exclusive? I would say no.
I'm going to say we're going to say let's do three. Let's use 3 as an example. Starfield, Elder Scrolls, and the next Fallout, because those are the huge ones.
The next Fallout could be 9 years away.
I think it'll be a little bit closer than that, but it could be.
I mean, the main Bethesda studio is making Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls, so I think it's going to be a huge distance out.
But will these huge games, they're big ones, be Xbox exclusive?
I don't think so. I think a lot of the value of this acquisition came out of the thought that people have that they will be.
I mean, that's why they announced it the day before pre-orders went open for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, got confused people.
Bob?
I'm really conflicted because I totally see, like, it makes perfect sense to not release them exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's also the equal chance of them walking into that rake of making no money.
I mean, they're a giant corporation. They just spent $7.5 billion. Didn't affect them, so I hear you.
Right, and if they care about console, if they want that to succeed, I feel like they do this, they get a big boost. So I'm going to say they are exclusive.
Okay.
KZ.
Yeah, I'm gonna say exclusive. It might be timed at or something of that manner, but I feel like you get something there. I feel like you sell a lot of consoles by saying the next big Bethesda game is on the Xbox and not PlayStation.
I'm going to say no. They won't be exclusive unless Xbox does alarmingly well, so much better than we expect.
I mean,
they have to be neck and neck with Sony.
I think they have to be better than that because you're still turning down half of your potential sales.
But it puts it into their head that we can win, so we have to make these exclusive, and it'll push us over.
Really looking forward to that conversation with Phil Spencer as to why. Never mind, journalists never ask that shit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, never mind.
And the second bullet point, second poll, will there still be Bethesda E3 shows? Dan.
Yes.
KZ.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
I wanted to have hope, but then I'm like, Microsoft will never let anything that's also going to be on PS5 be announced at their thing as one of their studios. So they'll keep Bethesda as a separate thing, having their own horrible shows.
Oh, I was just thinking of it in terms of how many people they got now. Like, you think about all the studios they have, whether they make shovelware or not, Bethesda is a large amount, and so is all the studios they have. So they just have 2 shows.
Those are shows Microsoft is now paying for, and they might not want to do that and just be like, we'll just do one and make it 40 minutes longer.
If they did combine them, they'd be able to show off some stuff that actually is people would be excited about, and from them themselves instead of a third party.
Todd's like, no, I want my crowd.
Todd hasn't been there in a couple years.
I want that one employee who screams.
Dan, Casey, that wasn't an employee. It was an influencer trying to go viral.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm not up on every piece of information about random crowd guy.
Todd came up whenever they announced Starfield, so I think that he'd be there if they had something else big to talk about.
The stuff that looks good, he shows up for.
Right.
That's what.
And Fallout 76.
Only when it was first announced and never again.
I should give that a try someday.
Shut the fuck up. I know you shouldn't. No one should.
Hold on, I'm hitting you.
We hit him with a wiffle bat. Like, dude, Fallout 76, really? He's like, it's not that bad. It's kind of like playing in a sand pit.
It's good until the spiders show up.
They already did. You bought it.
Oh no, spiders. They're in my head.
I think that's everything about Microsoft, though.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yep. I already said everything I have to say. Can't wait till. Yeah, whatever. I have a pretty good filter on Twitter nowadays. Let's see. What is the next bit of news? Bob.
Yeah.
Let's get all the Xbox shit out. Tell me your top line now.
They just announced this big exclusive for Day 1 Series Xbox.
Please stop lying.
Wait, what?
Bright Memory Original.
They already announced that.
What?
It's not Bright Memory, the new one. What is that?
Infinite?
Something like that?
Yeah.
It's not that one. That one's coming later.
So
this is the OG Bright Memory experience.
So what we're trying to tell you guys, and I didn't want to spoil this for KZ and Feel, that segment where Bob told you guys how garish and underdeveloped and unpolished and uninteresting that game was months ago is the huge exclusive on November 10th for the Xbox Series X and S.
Nobody go listen back to that where I said, don't worry, Bob, the new version of it's going to be a lot better, and that's the one that they're going to launch Xbox with.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that game is dire.
We'll find out when we do our Xbox Series X launch stream on launch day.
One stream.
Yep.
The lineup of games you have in there look really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait until the next Xbox show where we get to hear Xbox non-exclusive.
God damn it. God damn
They
it.
would never get the hype force for non-exclusive. It'd be exclusive with 100 asterisks.
And Xbox has it as well.
That's what it played before the Pragmata
Xbox
trailer.
paid for it.
Oh yeah, that's right. They showed off the Pragmata trailer for Xbox over at Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, their TGS show.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I have one more bit of news. Digital Foundry was talking. They did some panels for EGX, which is the Eurogamer Expo. They did digital panels. You can see them on Digital Foundry's YouTube channel, a couple of them. One of them, they talked to the technical director over at Dirt, and the other one, it was just Richard Ledbetter talking to another member of Eurogamer about these next-gen consoles. Apparently, the reason why some developers are having issues with their Xbox Series S and Series X dev kit is Microsoft did the thing they did last time again. They're completely reinventing the SDK from the ground up because they want one SDK to be able to ship an Xbox One, an Xbox Series S, a Series X, and a PC game all from the same environment. And apparently this has caused a shitload of headaches for certain devs. So that's why you're not getting ray tracing at launch. Potentially, that's potentially why for the Series X or S at launch.
I like that you have to say certain dev, and it's like we've seen gameplays from almost no devs. So
We've literally seen, we haven't even seen gameplay from Microsoft. We literally have seen no gameplay from Microsoft of their own console that's launching in, what is that, 8 weeks? 7 weeks? 6?
Yeah, 7 weeks.
We're so close. Anyway, so yeah, that's why Dirt is the only game that's been
Oh, it's
shown running
6
on the Series S.
weeks?
Yeah, it's 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks.
God.
Yeah, we're almost
We're
there.
so
Thank
close.
God. Thank
It is
God.
exactly 6 weeks from us recording this.
For the PS5, yeah.
Soon we can die.
But yeah, so they call that the GDK apparently. But yeah, those were interesting videos. Go check them out over on Digital Foundry. Anyway,
G for gamers.
yep. How'd you know that, Casey?
I'm in.
you got your GTK set up.
Yeah, my good dick.
Are you making Orphan the Machine too?
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, it's like that, but it's like versus 13 with a dolphin.
Yeah. Wait, is the dolphin like the dog from The Lightning Returns? Its
Yes,
mouth
I can
just
see the light of expiring souls.
That's good. I assume that it'll have an icon in the lower left that shows it animating.
Yes, it will be animated like every early on good Square Enix video game.
Okay, let's bust some of the rest of this out of the way. KZ, let's go through your news real quick.
Okay. TGS is going on, which means it's only right that they announce another Yakuza. It's been a minute. So the next big Yakuza game is going to be announced on the 27th. So that'll be what is that, like Sunday?
Yeah,
Something like
so
that.
the day before this podcast goes out. So we don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. So roundtable, Feel, what is it and what gameplay style will it be?
Oh my God.
I can't make a really good prediction because the previous one isn't out here yet.
Yeah, you know, so you can't guess whether or not it will still be Ichiban and whether or not it will be turn-based.
I'm gonna say it's gonna star Ichiban, but it might not be turn-based. They might back down for at least one.
Dan.
It's going to be called Yakuza 8. It has the housewife of a Yakuza who's been wrongfully prisoned, and it's a completely linear action game, and it's called Hag of the Dragon, and she busts ass through all of Japan. There you go. Bob?
Bob.
Let's see. It's about Kiryu's not daughter that he takes care of.
It's not done.
I don't even remember her fucking name.
Yeah, I can't memorize her.
Oh, man.
It's set 20 years later. She's now ripped.
They don't do that, Bob, but okay.
Don't worry about it. This time's different.
This
Just
time
like
is
they don't
different.
do turn-based RPGs this next time's different for other reasons.
Yeah, this isn't isn't an action game though.
Oh.
This is a game about weightlifting.
Oh shit. Is this a life balance game?
Sure.
Oh fuck. Now I'm super interested.
They're going to call it Yakuza 8. Somehow it'll only have the cast of Judgment and it'll be an RTS.
Oh, just like Aegis Rim.
Yeah. There you go. Oh god, I'm saving the next one for last.
Yep. Yep, we just got through a giant chunk. Let's kick that down the road.
Yeah, no, I got tired looking at it. So next thing we got is all that Lab Zero stuff was pretty rough with the whole Mike V thing. People either leaving or being fired because they didn't leave. So ex-Lab Zero employees have formed a new co-op game dev studio called Future Club.
That's a good name. Has a good logo too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the people you know from Lab Zero ended up over there. I think they said they had 13 or 16 employees. I can't quite remember, but
Yeah. It was something around that range. Yeah.
apparently since it's a co-op, it's employee owned. It's not a corporation.
It doesn't mean they're making co-op games.
But what if they did?
Yes, it's a thing of
Maybe.
we want to make sure we all own this. That in case someone's evil, we don't feel trapped.
Everyone just told me, like, you're not Mike Z, are you?
Oh no! What is it, like Scooby-Doo? They just pull the mask off.
Mike Z keeps trying to get in. He's wearing like a fake mustache and a top hat, and it's like, I am Guy Incognito. And they just throw him out the door.
No, my name's Jake Chi.
He looks identical to someone who actually works there. It's just that Spider-Man scene.
Wait, does he have the Mission Impossible mask?
Yes.
Oh no!
Oh,
He's
I love the Mission
unstoppable.
Impossible masks.
You know how much that just fixes shit that's elsewise unfixable? You've seen those
Don't
movies.
remind me of Mission Impossible. I'm getting excited again.
Oh man. Okay, that's great news. I'm happy for them. I always worry about any corporation with a very weird structure. Because, you know, Valve, with its complete lack of a hierarchy, doesn't get anything done. But this is just a financial ownership thing, as far as I know. So who knows? Maybe they have a traditional hierarchy internally, but I have no idea. Hope they get to make cool things soon.
Right.
That'd be neat. So this has been put into question, given the world events, what's going to go on with those game awards. But Jeff Keighley put out the announcement: Game Awards will return on December 10th. They are no audience, obviously, and they're doing the whole thing from like 4 different locations, or 3 or 4 locations. They're doing something in LA, London, and Tokyo. So they'll have like sets on each of those, and gonna celebrate the awards for stuff, and show some premieres. He's like, I know people are worried about if we get good premieres, and I get worried about it too, but they're good. I'm like, sure, this means
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, there's no chance of a celeb showing up and saying, hey, show my game.
That game came out. I don't think a single human being talked about it.
Daniel Bloodworth did.
Its Metacritic has a 34.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, no, it's one of the worst games of the year for sure.
Of the generation.
Yeah, it's one of the worst looking games in the gen. Yeah. And that movie got delayed that they were going to do cross promotion with it too, but they didn't delay the game.
God, that's so funny. There was a tweet was getting passed around from last month of a Microsoft account promoting Wonder Woman 1984. Like, no, you guys told us when. It's not our problem. It's your problem.
That's hilarious. Dan.
Yeah.
This whole time, Xbox, Phil Spencer's been saying, my real competition, it's not PlayStation anymore. It's Google, it's Amazon. Because in their mind, they're looking forward, and they're seeing the future, or the future they think. And those are going to be the top competitors. Those are going to be the most successful people in the gaming space. And I think he may be right. Amazon has officially announced Luna, their cloud gaming service.
It was very nice of them to synchronize that with the day we were going to release Armchair Dev's Kiwami number 4, Amazon Game Studios.
I almost lost my fucking mind seeing them do that. I'm like, we're putting that out today, though. Oh my god.
Everything fell together. It was nuts. We've had that podcast recorded for almost 7 weeks.
We predict the future even by accident.
This service seems more nightmarish than Stadia's.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah, why is that?
So I was looking into it, like with Stadia, it's bad. Like we know that. Like I tried to be optimistic when it was first announced, and then reality of people saying no, idiot, hit me, and I've grown from that. But this one, they have a setup where there are channels.
Okay.
And you pay. There's like the Amazon one that has like third-party stuff on there, right?
Yeah, it's called Luna Plus.
No.
Luna Plus, but there's also the Ubisoft one. And then I saw other people talking about it. It's like, yeah, what if Xbox does one so they have a channel? I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like it.
Oh, there's also really weird stipulations here. It's like, oh, Luna Plus gets you on 2 devices. The Ubisoft account only gets you on 1 device.
Oh, fuck this.
Like it makes me think of a hypothetical future where this is somehow successful, where it's like the future of gaming is going on your Chrome browser with this and being like, all right, I need to get the Activision channel. I need to get the EA channel. I got to get the Square Enix channel.
So just to be clear about exactly what this is, as KZ's breaking it down, guys, this is just streaming services. This is the Hulu, Netflix, but it's all located in one box, in one device, in one service.
We're looking at a potential with Amazon's trying to make they're trying to make, and I was listening to, I think, a Greg Miller show where he's like, it's like they're just trying to turn every game company into their own Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Square Game Pass, Activision Game Pass. And it's a grid of all of those. They haven't properly communicated, at least from what I'm reading here, whether or not you opt in to a Ubisoft channel and then you still have to buy those games, or if it's a monthly fee for that channel.
Yeah, it's going to be a monthly fee for that channel. They don't have a price announced. Here's why. Luna Plus is early access pricing for $5.99, after which this introductory price will go away. So, guys, we're looking at paying like probably 10 or 12 bucks per channel, and you're going to want 4 channels, maybe 3 channels, and you're just going to pay that monthly every month forever. Here's the part I find interesting that I think is worth underscoring, because it's psychotic, and they wouldn't have written this here, I don't think, on both of these unless it was something that could change. Luna Plus, early access pricing, $5.99 a month, unlimited hours of play. Ubisoft coming soon, unlimited hours of play. Guys, there's going to be a channel that charges you monthly and only allows you like 200 hours of playing their games.
That's going to be EA, yeah. Ultimate Edition with DLC for select titles.
It's going to be Atlas. Wait, for select titles?
Yeah.
The Ubisoft channel only gives you Ultimate Editions with DLC for select titles? Fuck you, man. I'm paying you rent.
Because I think of a future where it's that, but there's also different fringe channels. So it's like Ubisoft Gold.
Right.
So it's like you specifically opt into a more premium version where that's $25 per month.
So is this whole thing like you buy the controller and that's all you need to buy for it?
Mm-hmm.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about there being they're not at all trying to make a plate that will catch on fire trying to run.
Yeah, it looks like
shit.
It works with Fire TV.
Yeah, so far it works with Fire TV, PC, Mac, web apps for iPhone and iPad. We'll see about that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, presumably they'll do Android at some point too. But yeah, that's the idea. I think this has more of a prayer than Stadia ever did. Main reason being you don't pay subscription and then also buy games.
Yeah, no, the Stadia is the most insane.
This has a better chance. I don't like it because I described what system it's shooting for, but I think it has a better chance there. I did want to ask you, do you have any idea if Amazon has the technology to make a decent streaming service with like servers and stuff? Because that's the whole Google thing, was like they were touting that they have that.
Everyone's a fucking idiot. Amazon probably is going to do this better than Google. I have no idea why people think Google's side projects are ever competent. It took years for Android to get its shit together. Most of their projects get canceled after a short amount of time. Every time they do something right, they immediately fuck it up. Even their main projects are that way. Look at how fucking regressive and self-destroying YouTube is. Every feature they add is fucking useless for creators, and all the limitations they give us just make our lives infinitely worse every fucking day. Every person who runs a YouTube channel you like,
website.
Oh yeah, every person you know and love who runs a YouTube channel, you have no idea the hell they went through to keep doing that, because every day YouTube makes our life hell.
Yeah.
So so Amazon.
I'm holding myself back.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could say mean about YouTube and what they've done to me. Like private videos, when you play them now, they only play it for 2 seconds and then they pause.
Uh-huh.
Then you can't watch it anymore. I'm like, I wanted to check this is the right fucking video.
I'm trying to do cue cards at the end. I'm trying to do all these other things. I'm trying to make sure you processed it right. No.
No.
So yeah, Amazon, they do Amazon Web Services. That is the number one thing that Amazon makes money from, actually. It is the cloud computing and storage platform they have installed all over the United States. I don't doubt that they can figure out a way to integrate this properly into that in a way that just makes Stadia look like a fucking joke.
But they won't be upgrading those blades every 5 months like insane Stadia stands say they will for Stadia.
You set that reminder, Bob? How much time until you have to clown on that guy?
I don't remember if I set the reminder. I think he set the reminder and I didn't care.
But Bob, that guy's not going to tell you he was wrong a year later.
I know.
Stupid Twitter guy thought it was important to tag Bob and be like, I set a reminder from a year from now to show you how wrong you are about Stadia. I also saw people on Twitter trying to say, everyone clowns on these streaming services they've never tried. Listen here, you stupid little shit. I own them all. I've used them all. I am streaming. I'm 50% streaming by mass.
One, I don't believe you, because someone put out a post that was like, all those people who say streaming isn't like the future, and it's like it's not going to catch on. Look at this. And then they showed a picture that showed the logos of 18 different ones, and I went, I don't know what more than half of these are.
I don't know what even half of them are.
And I don't believe that you do either.
Show me the image. I gotta stare at it.
Okay.
GeForce Now is one of them.
Yeah.
It's worse than most of them you've tried. Gaikai isn't on that list. I've used that. OnLive isn't on that list. I've used that. That dude was leaving shit out. Let me see.
GameTap is not on that. I used GameTap. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So there are even more that have failed that he didn't know
do.
about.
Right, exactly, because this concept isn't new, you dipshit.
There's a picture of a lion.
It's been the future for 10 years.
Yeah, and 10 years ago, we're like, it's 10 years too early, and now we're still sitting here like, yeah, it's probably still 10 years plus. And it's like, I don't think industry is getting better.
Arcade?
I'll be honest, I haven't tried that. One moment. Stream Arcade.
Most of these are just logos, so we don't even know what they're called.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know what these are.
I tried to do research. These things, I could not find them in like lists of streaming services. So either they're so obscure that you have to be insane to know what they are, or they died already, in which case, why are you bringing them up?
Oh, I actually have heard of Stream Arcade. So they only do retro games. Okay.
Oh, no.
So Burger Time, streamed via the cloud. Stuff like that.
Burger Time isn't a good game.
Burger Time's okay. I can think of way worse games I had on the NES. It's better than Paperboy. Let's put it that way. Okay, it's not a high bar.
I have issues. I have issues with fucking Parsec being on here. The red and blue square one.
Yeah,
because the main purpose of that is to shoot a game to someone. For one, press is using that for preview events now for games, and two, it's for like, you want to play a local game with someone over the internet, so you do that, which is a lot different than streaming service to this is how you play all your games from now on.
Right.
Where it's like, those seem more community-based.
Absolutely.
Parsec.
So I've also used PlayStation Now.
Also not good.
I've used, what is this, 4 or 5 different streaming platforms?
Let's see.
Obviously, I couldn't use Luna. That shit's not out.
They didn't include Jump, which failed.
Well, yeah, they didn't
Live.
include all the other ones that failed. Also,
They included Vortex, but Vortex is in the middle of failing because it's, to get anything that's worth a shit, it's $20 a month and you get 80 hours.
so about how
That's
Luna
the V.
will do that.
That's the V.
The V, sis.
A lot of these are not real streaming services.
Yeah.
A lot of them are you can stream from your computer to your phone, which is you still have hardware. That isn't game streaming, is the future.
I was looking at this list of games. I'm noticing most of this is 505 and cheaper, more indie style stuff.
Like Rhyme
Yeah,
and
then
Overcooked.
anything that's not that is Ubisoft. So literally,
Ubisoft will latch on to any platform.
Oh, yeah,
ever.
because
Yeah.
they hope to get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
One of these is Shadow by Blade.
Excuse me, what?
Oh no! Shadow is the name of the service, and Blade is the company that runs it.
Oh, you're talking about streaming services. We were just talking about
Yeah, I'm
games.
still talking about streaming services.
But yeah, no, Bob's right. The highest profile game on here is Sonic Mania.
yeah, outside of the Ubisoft stuff, because we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla down there. That's big. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not on the Luna Plus plan.
I mean, yeah, it's big. It's a launch title for the Series X.
It comes out.
I'd like to
before
point
the
out
series.
that
Oh, every
Play
time
Key?
I look up launch titles for the consoles, that's always near the top, and then it's like bright memory.
Play Key is on this list.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
so
KZ
many.
has more subscribers.
Yeah,
KZ
no.
has more subscribers than the Play more followers than the
Followers
Play
on
Key
Twitter.
account.
Yeah, same goes for Antstream Arcade. But anyway,
Yeah,
this is an insane tweet by a person. We are now breaking down all of the images of. We should move on. Point is, Luna's a better proposition than Stadia. I think you'll have more success because, Amazon will probably send you one of these controllers for free if they can get you to sign up.
right.
Google couldn't even do that, the limp dick motherfuckers.
I feel like
Also,
it'll
this controller
fail.
looks cooler.
Yes,
It'll
it's purple.
fail for a while. They'll do some kind of free sample with Prime, and then it will get a little tiny bit of success for a little bit.
So let me express something real quick. I would absolutely love to get one of these in house. Look at the quality of the image, et cetera, et cetera. It has a purple controller. It's already better than Stadia. It has Alexa. I'm not letting that thing in my home. It's powered by Alexa. The fucking mic in the thing works just like all the Alexa devices. So that means every person who buys one of these, the controller, when it's not even on, when you're not even using it, is just beaming your audio to some random Amazon contractor, which used to be in Florida, but they moved him. You don't want that.
No, that's fine. That's my freedom.
My freedom to pay rent for
Yeah.
games that I don't own. That's a freedom. Show you. Yeah, no, this
Here goes.
it's real dumb. Anybody have anything else to say about Luna?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Let's move on. Bob,
Sure.
give me the NieR news.
Oh, the NieR news.
Since we're nearly done.
Yeah, they did a TGS show for NieR.
Mm-hmm.
We got a date for NieR Replicant 1 point whatever.
No, I need the full title of this game.
1.2247447871139.
Okay, it's out April 23rd here in the States. So that's
A couple days earlier in Japan.
yeah, like
One
April
day,
20th.
I
So,
think. I
yeah,
think it's literally one.
yeah,
Fucking-
it's incredibly close.
Fucking Yoko Taro took over the fucking Enterprise and he was like, computer, set the password to version 1.224744787139.
It's sad to hear about his death. Like in between trailer cuts, he got his head ripped off and then became a puppet.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah, they did a lot of silly things during this stream.
I love this man so much when he was just like, look at this man over here. He's like rich, he's pretty, he's everything I hate about humans.
I
The
think
stream
that
will have lots of information. Somebody's like, Yoko Taro, what information? He's like, information about my failing kidney due to alcoholism.
That was a tweet he made, yes.
But yeah, that was the director of Reincarnation, the iPhone game or / Android game. He's the one who is too handsome and rich for Yoko Taro to handle. And we found out that's coming to the West.
Oh, that's neat.
That's neat.
Cool.
Then they got the director of from Platinum for Automata, who came there to talk about how they sold 4.85 million copies. Apparently on the phone they told him it was 5 million, so when he went in and it was less, it was disappointing. And then
this team of dipshits.
Then he got to show off the absolutely insane NieR Automata statue. That thing looks like it's going to be like $2,000. It's huge. It's giant.
Damn.
Yeah, they didn't even talk about price.
We're gonna need a bigger jar.
They did show some gameplay from Replicant. It looks like it's being highly reworked.
Oh yeah,
movement's way faster. You can move while casting spells.
It looks somewhat like a video game.
It seems to run at a stable frame rate. Something like I saw a comparison to that in the old game. I was like, oh yeah, that couldn't run at all. It was usually sitting around 15.
Yeah.
I saw a comparison footage where it showed the new footage first, then the old one, and I went, this looks all right. And I was like, this is something I could get into. And I was like, I don't know, maybe did the old game look that bad, or is my perspective warped? They showed that footage. I went, this is an unplayable piece of fucking garbage. Holy shit.
Yeah, NieR was really bad. So seeing this sort of glow up is cool.
It's the sort of thing that makes you go, are you sure FromSoft didn't make this? This run's really bad.
It's below.
It felt like it was. It's like if FromSoft tried to make Devil May Cry.
Yeah. It's really bad. I don't like it. It plays worse than any FromSoft
Demon Souls FromSoft.
Well, this is
what I'm specifically saying.
Well, this is pretty cool that this is getting such a nice glow up.
So that's all the NieR news. Pretty neat.
That is pretty neat.
It was cool they subbed it. I'm glad that more companies are like, yeah, we'll make it a more professional setup so that Western stream monsters can watch it. Like Capcom's also doing their TGS stuff just on the North American Capcom Twitch.
Yeah, they actually, it was all pre-recorded, so they were able to give it subtitles, and that's great.
Yay. Bob.
Yeah.
Do the Nioh news.
Sure. Nioh 2 is getting its second DLC. It comes out October 15th. It's called Darkness in the Capital. It's in the Heian era of Kyoto. Heian? Okay. So another time-traveling adventure. And they also teased there's going to be a new weapon that'll appeal to hand-to-hand combat fans. So that should be cool.
That's dope.
I want more fist weapons and everything.
This is a PSA. Finish Nioh 2, please.
Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah, I know. There's way too many good things.
We need to be able to have an intellectual discussion about the end of Nioh 2.
You get 2 weeks. Big thing to mention, number 90. Your life fucking ends.
He was really hard.
I'm terrible at those games, and I got through it.
Yeah, KZ's terrible at games, and he got through it.
Yeah, I think video game hard.
I only promised to try.
I'm just gonna lift up this bat.
Again, episode 90, the Nioh 2 spoiler cast.
Yeah!
Worst case scenario, I'll just lie and just silently nod. Yes, I do remember that.
And then it totally doesn't get it. Arrow popping up. Okay, Bob. This news is good. Probably.
This is big news, yeah.
It is big news, yeah.
The former CEO and co-founder of Blizzard, Mike Morhaime.
Mike
Morhaime.
Morhaime? Probably.
I've heard Morhaime before, so I assume that one's correct.
Sure.
All right.
That's how it always works. It's like when I used to think epitome was epitome.
Well, anyway, he formed a new game company called Dreamhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of industry vets. They got what they all worked on. It's mostly people who worked on Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm. So a bunch of people from Blizzard. They're forming 2 studios, Moonshot Games and Secret Door. It sounds like Moonshot's more like their big studio, and then Secret Door is going to do smaller stuff.
That's awesome.
But I'm pretty excited to see what these guys do. It's, a lot of bad things have happened at Blizzard recently. Maybe this will be them kind
of... Like what?
Yeah.
Like the last 4 years.
Oh no!
And I checked when this guy left. It was apparently 2019 when he fully bowed out of the company. So only last year, but
we covered that on Big Thing.
Yeah,
sure.
Don't know how much he was involved with dark things that happened.
Yeah. Well, that's probably going to be pretty good. Probably. Hey, Phil, give us all your news, and then we'll jump into KZ's thing. Oh, wait. We already did KZ's thing. Why is that still glowing red and evil in the corner?
We can do mine again. You want to talk about...
No.
So Sega says they're making a Yakuza movie, which isn't that unreasonable because they already fucking made one. But it was like a Japanese one. But they apparently are going to do like a big Hollywood one, except they also said that about Golden Axe, Altered Beast, and Crazy Taxi at various points in the past decade.
Dude, I want a Crazy Taxi movie.
So do I.
That could be great.
Give it to the Fast and the Furious guy.
Oh my God.
Then you get to have someone on the radio just be like, hey, what's up? And then they change the channel, and it's like, oh, there's our callback to the voice for the guy from the arcade. I clap.
Yeah.
Eat more popcorn.
And then you watch The Rock do something cool.
Yeah, they say they're doing that. Like all video game movies, just assume it isn't real until you see a trailer.
Yep.
We got a bunch more Disgaea 6 details. For one, we got screenshots of the actual game, and it looks way better than I expected it to look.
Yeah.
I expected the actual game to look kind of rough, but it actually looks really nice.
Yeah, when NIS says we're going 3D models, I was like, But those shots, though,
I was like, oh, it looks
nice.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked pretty nice, so I'm not too surprised.
We got a bunch of well, that could just be fancy cutscene graphics, then the actual game looks rough as shit.
They wouldn't make different models. They're at NISA.
But we got a bunch of details. For one, the level cap has been raised from 9,999 to 9,999,999. So it went up by 3 magnitudes of 10.
Good, they get it.
They have said they are also going to they are adding speed up, so you can play the game at like double speed, like speed up on animations, a bunch of features like quality of life features to make playing the game faster. Damage goes up to the quadrillions now. In one of the screenshots, somebody is dealing a quadrillion damage. The numbers are all the way across the screen.
Good. They need to embrace this. This is what Disgaea is.
So the apparently you start at level 9,999, but then you get owned, because the primary theme of this game is the protagonist is a zombie. Presumably there will be more party members other than him, his sister, and his dog, but those are the 3 we know about now. They're zombies, and they have the power of super reincarnation, which means when they get fucking owned and they reincarnate and they reset to level 1 but keep some of their stats. And that's a big mechanic in the game, where these characters will reincarnate, and then you get a special resource called Karma, which lets you buff them, lets you make their stats higher, and even lets you make upgrade their movement distance and how many counterattacks they can do, which normally you can't upgrade.
Yeah, it sounds really unhinged.
They said the plot is there's a god of destruction that is destroying all the netherworlds, and you keep challenging him and getting owned. But you get a little stronger each time. Apparently, they said that this game is going to have isekai-esque themes, because whenever the protagonist super reincarnates, he reincarnates in a different world, in a different netherworld.
So I assume it's just the end of a chapter. You meet up and get killed.
That's what I'm assuming happens. But the fact they specifically reference isekais, and I think they leaked or revealed that one of the chapters takes place in a school.
Oh yeah, the Gamatsu has the screenshots, and there's Human World, TV World, Demon Academy.
I am hoping each chapter is just an unhinged parody of the isekai plot. That the party members as the protagonists.
Yeah, that would be really good.
You can have a music world.
These other screenshots they show, and the art they released officially shows a bunch of other characters that are almost certainly a party. So definitely more than those 2.
The God of Destruction looks so cracked out.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually, this actually got me a lot more excited for it. Mainly, I was worried that it would look bad, but it appears to look pretty good. I still hope that they release the PS4 version over here, because I'm still worried about how it will run during cracked out team attacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. And the last thing, there's this game I discovered called Gigabash. It looks like just what if we brought back King of the Monsters?
Ooh.
And like added physics to it and gave you launchers and stuff.
Oh,
So they've had a couple trailers for it, like starting like a month ago, but they revealed a really big one this week where they have like you have like a Gao-Gai-Gar-esque mech is a character, and then the character this trailer focuses on, which is Giga Man, who is Ultraman, but he's middle aged, so his back isn't so good, and he's kind of fat.
this is pretty good.
So he like does a big finisher, but then he's like, "Oh, my back," and is like hunches over holding his back. And like the trailer has him shooting his big laser beam and it reflecting off buildings.
This is really good. I'm actually super interested in this sort of game.
Yeah, it has like bouncing up off people, and you do a really big punch and you send the monster flying. And some of the monsters are playable because they've shown them in trailers. I don't know if it's going to have any kind of story or if it's just going to be like a arcadey King of the Monster style games, but I'm really excited for it. It's rare when you see, like, I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is rare to see someone try to tackle this type of game and it to look good at all.
Right.
To be honest. I remember the last time I played a kaiju sort of game, it was that Godzilla game that was on PS3 and 4, and that one was bad.
Yeah, that was real bad.
This actually looks really tight. Man, do we have a date on this or anything? Man.
No, we do not, sadly.
Man, that looks really, really cool. I hope we get to see that again soon or get a date sometime soon.
Let's just make sure we didn't get any new news dropped on us. Nope, we're good.
Xbox
Good.
bought you. Do you think you're safe?
Yeah, the hands come out.
Didn't you get some response like, "I'd love to be bought by Microsoft. They have nice internet."
Yeah, they have a great recreational center. And, oh man,
I can't wait to be a slave.
I'm like, that would be. I would love to have that much money. And I'm like, no, they bought you, and you weren't involved in the conversation. They clearly bought you from the U.S. government. You've been unpersoned. That's the joke. And I don't know. I feel like my replies to that weren't quite as bad as me making the quintessential tweet of 2020. We still don't know what the create button does. And, you know,
Sure,
20
we don't. It's
20
upsetting.
20 different people coming out to say, I'm pretty sure it's just the share button. I'm like, yes, the joke here is that they said they would tell us. It's been 6 months.
Stores
The
all
joke-
your gamer fluids.
I did see someone reply with that as a quote to tweet. They were like, what was it? Oh, it's gone. Oh, what happened? Anyway. Yeah, they replied that it was for gaming store gamer fluids, and I'm like, that's no. The crease next to the touchpad though, that's perfect for that.
Yes.
Also store your gravy for you hungry gamers. But yeah, no. Glad there's no more news coming out at the last second and shooting us to death because
That'll be
man,
tomorrow.
we were like, oh man, this Xbox thing sure is a lot to talk about, and then the Amazon Luna was announced, and I'm like, come on, man.
I think we're safe for a while. There's nothing so enormous they can.
Oh no,
they can
don't
be
say
announced.
that. Don't
Stop
say that.
it. You fucking doomed me.
Oh no.
I'm sure that next week won't have a state of play, a direct, and another sad Microsoft show all in the same week.
They're going to play the sad story sound from Super Mario RPG as Phil Spencer comes out on stage to go, we don't have any games.
No.
Don't worry, KZ. Nintendo's fucking asleep until after Christmas, and they can safely announce the Switch Pro without killing Christmas Switch sales.
God, that's psychotic.
See, that's gonna be fine. That's how Switch Pro will be. How I play the new Disgaea. It'll all work out.
And that's also how I'm going to play the Breath of the Wild. Leave me alone, everyone. I haven't had time.
For the
So
last,
Dan, what are you doing in the next week? I'm not playing Breath of the Wild.
same as the past 3.5 years.
Correct.
Oh God, it has been that long. I'm turning into dust.
Yeah, it's been a while. Which is why when people go, yeah, no, the Switch is the same generation as the PS5 and Series X, I spit take every time.
2010 was 40 years ago.
Correct. But yeah,
Fallout New Vegas 40 years old.
can you believe it?
The engine is 80.
It feels like it. They had to enter everything in Excel. Anyways, as for what we've got going on in the next week, I don't know, man. Probably streaming Resident Evil 4, but that may have happened by now, so oops.
Dope.
Hey, KZ, what are you doing in the next week?
I don't fucking know. Videos came back, so that's cool. I took a break because I went, I'm out of time. Fuck it. I'll just push it back instead of making myself die.
Smart. Everyone loves you. We don't want you to die.
Yeah, that's usually that's important.
That be how it is.
Yeah, I got nothing on the list here. We're just gonna live, and maybe I'll edit this podcast. Maybe I won't. Depends if Dan's internet will allow.
If you guys see a YouTube video that is just a link to a FLAC file stored on the internet, you'll know KZ didn't edit it at all. Something went horribly wrong. But hey, you gotta appreciate how Paralyzer was the song I used for the YouTube video that says, click the link below.
Dan, you're a lifesaver.
Hey, Phil. I'm gonna keep watching you play Detroit and laughing at you.
By the time you hear this, I'll have finished Detroit. We'll go back to 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, morphogenetic fields, ice 9, allies.
Yeah, see, I enjoy watching that because it's a mixture of you going, or whenever they start talking about science stuff, and the chat constantly saying how I react to things and getting mad about it.
We have another stream goal for Life is Strange.
Hella,
that's in the stream goal. Life is Strange, parentheses, hella. So come by and watch that. That's it. Going to sleep now.
Come on by, Mr. Fields, Electro on stream.
No, it's come on by, Mr. Fields Mortgage. Refinancing. Student loans. No problem.
what's going on?
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today. This month's Gigaboots videos were brought to you by our lordly executive producers, Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, We Fall Now, and the Ghost of Adam Admar implores you to play more Saga. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. Soar on over to patreon.com/Gigaboots and become an executive producer today.